The end of the year.
Okay, let's see, online we have, Tony Frank. We have, Sandra, are you there?
She says she's on her way. She just wrote in the chat.
Okay.
I'm here.
Who else do we want?
Wes.
Wes is there. Wes, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
Okay, thanks, Wes. And, Steve will not be able to make it today. I think Rob's on his way to somewhere.
It's somewhere.
Yeah, he traveled, I could, but it's one of the best places. And, I don't know, Caroline's gonna make it today.
She's gonna try and join online, but she doesn't know.
Great.
That's it, serious.
Does anybody else, if you have Bill Motion, might come in later, and, okay. It's going to get started here. The action items in the packet that were sent out, we have the motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Any comments, additions, questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Thank you. Chair report, we talked about last week, the executive search is going to start in earnest. Here we have contracted with, Ron Brown of, Hybrid and Struggle, national firm. He is the one that conducted the, search that brought, Wes Allison here. So obviously he knows the dynamics of the organization and the issues. And we talked at length about kind of how the process will go. It will be a very transparent process. Him and his team will basically go out there and really probably talk to all of you, talk to community leaders, political leaders, and we'll do quite an extensive outreach to the community, to really to all the stakeholders. It'll be a very transparent process. So Ron kind of understands. And once we get all the feedback, we'll figure out a way to kind of put together a job description. That's kind of in transition.
It's almost like a job profile.
Profile would be in the rest, that's clear. So, and then basically the CEO, he or she will kind of take it and mold that in terms of what needs to be done and kind of what's the reason is, and it's with the oversight of the board. Obviously Brad's going to be involved, and he's now on contract with us. He's with the city now, he's a city guy. And, but we'll.
That's actually, Mr. Chair, that's effective Monday. He will be, and now he's still.
He's still one of us.
Right.
He's always one of us, he's always forever and ever, forever and ever on that.
He gets half a jack.
Half a job.
Two logos.
Yeah.
One boot.
We have that expertise in history here, so, but again, it'll be, a number of communities that had some outreach to us as far as, hey, how do we get input? And there will be quite a bit in there, so we'll make sure we include everybody. And I'm thinking we'll get some great candidates.
Exciting job.
Yeah, bigger jobs, look forward to it, so we're moving ahead with that. Brad, can you go for it?
I'm sure you know what I'm saying.
Just jump right to the facilities page.
Just a little bit of a lag. Here we go.
There's a lot happening in the facilities world, as you can imagine right now, with the opening of the Sue Ann Shoots Rogers Livestock Center and commissioning and running, and had a great successful event last Thursday night. And then the card show over the weekend really went without a hitch. It was, knock on wood, it has gone super smoothly, and the legacy has been just hopping. Many events I'm sure Doug and Wes can speak to. They're making progress on the Cup North parking structure. They are in for their first package of building permit review. There was a goal to be under construction 1st of February, and so looking good for that. Here on the 1-inch line on the O&M agreement with CSU, I think those signatures are about to route. I the campus energy agreement with, Stock Show was actually signed, got completed last week, so that. A lot of big agreements that we've been working on for the last year or so that are finalized now. Next slide. Been a very busy fall coming up to Stock Show for our events. I think I've heard we are within some very small number of dollars of hitting our 2025 events revenue goal. That's really exciting. It's a big jump in terms of what we were trying to do this year, and the sales and events teams have just done a great job with that. So lots of events, and then over the next 90 days, we have just some holiday parties here happening before Stock Show to wrap our events up. Then Stock Show takes over all of the facilities. On Monday, they start loading the ties the pens for the new cow barn in the arena or the expo side of the livestock center. So that building is about to completely transform. And then after that, a whole bunch of events. You know, Joe, do you want to kind of maybe run through some of those and talk a little bit about them, or do you want to do that? Are you covering these in your?
No, I wasn't. I just also didn't bring my glasses, so I'm having. So, yeah, absolutely. So 25 events that have been going on. Some of them have been repeats. In fact, I think we told you all that we have a good repeat group that's coming on here, which has been really helpful for us. SYEC is going to maintain a big block of those events that have been maintaining, which is good news there. We have had some that have grown up and are excited to move over into LVC. So the Livestock Center will be getting its share of events coming up as well. Some of the ones that you'll be seeing for upcoming, those are coming into the next year. And a lot of those are what we'll consider like public shows. So we have fishing and hunting. ETH Denver's a big move that came from the triangle over to this side a year earlier than we expected. So we had to do a lot of maneuvering for that quickly, but we're ready for them. They are the first event that we come back into pretty much. We're also getting a lot of.
And that, they take the entire livestock center, right?
Yes.
All of Expo, all of Arena.
And SYC, we'll be over there as well.
Denver, that's the one that's been, it's up on the hill too, partially, I think.
Yeah. Kind of like crypto and what, it's actually all over the place. They want to do a drone show and it feels like if you can think of it, they want to try it. So it's a good challenge for us to continue to work on that one. Denver Card Show, that's one that's just continued to grow for us. They are now graduating up into the south, the larger side of the expo side of the barns and LVC. So continued growth, and that's been a fun show to see them grow with us, and we continue to align with them. We're getting a lot of graduations, which we knew was probably going to be the case and we were hoping for, but that's starting to really trigger. And we're going to use legacy at the same time. So that crossover between legacy that everybody's hoping to see is happening. A lot of shows are seeing that, and if you had the chance, which I think everybody probably has, to be up in the box office, the VIP box office up there, not box office, and look down, it's unbelievable. It's such a view to see kind of what's going on down there. So it's exciting and it's fun to be able to kind of see up there. So people are really enjoying that connection between the buildings. And then we're just getting really getting a surge in concerts behind the scenes. There's a lot of lining up going on right now. There's an excitement. We're trying to get the right threshold for ticket sales that gets us across the line with these shows. So that's kind of been put into place and really getting a more of a package deal for them. So it's not, it's not as a la carte, it's more one payment go type thing, each of their style. T-Box, spring shows, marketing, all of those. Those are start public shows. We'll get a lot of attendance in those, we expect. And I think it's a good one. Those are a lot of good ones for us because they can withstand economic trials. A lot of small businesses tend to come back to these shows because that's where they can get a lot of face value for their time. So we'll see attendance and we'll see small businesses really gravitate to those shows because that's where they can get in front of a lot of people. So that's the bulk of what you're seeing coming up.
Thank you.
What kind of interest has there been in the Kobank Arena space? Let's talk about that a little bit.
Kobank Arena, I think I'll just kind of I'll tell you what our hamstrings are in that slightly, and it is just the capacity piece of that. The rest of the building is spot on. People love it when they go in. They actually have excited. We're trying to get to that. That's kind of the attendance threshold I'm talking about to get there. It needs to hover the 6,000 to 7,000 for a lot of concerts or those kinds of shows to go. And we're getting there. We can do it. It's just gotta have a comfort level too. You can't just cram people, you know what I mean, to where it's uncomfortable.
So what do you think what do you think the comfortable number is for that?
6,500.
6,500.
On, I think some shows, we're looking to do for like some DJ shows or EDM shows. Where they actually use that upper bar as their platform, which opens up more capacity below. So there is a chance to get 7,000. 6,500 to 7,000 is where a sweet spot is.
So are there considerations or some groups, some promoters are considering and looking and booking and?
Yep, for more of our fight, boxing, those kinds of things, they're good with the numbers that are there. They're comfortable with that. And we're starting to see that traction bit as well.
We have some 2026 booking.
Yeah, we have I'll touch on the very end of this. No, it's fine. I will touch on it just slightly at the end of this, but yeah,
Okay.
26 is lining up well.
Good.
Yeah, the cut north, what did they finally kind of decide what's it gonna look like?
You mean the park garage?
Yeah,
Like a garage.
what do you think on the first level?
Well, there's a component there. It's pretty small potentially. I'm not sure that's been finalized yet. You know, the facade is gonna be beautiful. The exterior with what's it called, metal.
There's like a scrim that has these galloping horses.
Horses, cattle, and cowboys, as a herding. So that's this huge 4-story. So it'll be a spectacular approach to this garage.
How many spaces are
107. I think that's a number. Yeah. Large, a little over 400. But it's good.
Flies over here?
With one.
Slide.
Everybody fronts, right?
I'm sure.
But it's still scheduled February 1, construction start, October 1 finish.
Right.
Yeah.
Great. Okay. Community, Lori.
Hi there. Just wanted to touch on some 2025 numbers. As we've talked about the last few months, that We Don't Waste comes out the first Friday. But just wanted to show you the impact that we've had for We Don't Waste and the individuals we serve. But we have been able to serve 10,000 individuals with our 2025 We Don't Waste at the hub, as well as 100,000 diapers given out to families that are in need, as well as 1,000 units of baby formula. These are really impactful. There's so many other numbers that they report on, but I feel like just showing all of the services that we are able to provide our individuals in 80216 is just really wonderful. And they've just opened up a We Don't Waste near over at Bruce Randolph. So it's just going to be even more impactful in the community. We have been able to serve over 1,000 tickets with a partnership with Denver Museum of Nature and Science, as well as the Denver Center for Performing Arts. These are relationships that we're continuing to have, so we can offer these opportunities to our community members and be able to take that financial hardship for them to be able to enjoy some of the cultural access. We are really getting ready for Stock Show as well. It's a very big initiative in the community. We purchased over 300 tickets that will be offered to the community. It comes with different rodeos as well as grounds admissions. We heard last year that a lot of families, they want to come and just walk the grounds, and that can still be pretty costly. So being able to offer these opportunities is really amazing. We were lucky enough to get some additional tickets for grounds admission from the Stock Show. So we're just really super grateful for that partnership. And then one of our upcoming is the Stock Show Parade that we partner with Garden Place Academy as well as Swansea Elementary. So we have 20 students that are already lined up, they're ready to go. And they'll be participating in the parade. So we're just really excited about continuing that partnership, as well as really celebrating the families in the community. And then we do have the reception and rodeo that will be an invitation only, but it's for CAC residents or CAC participants that are continuing to be part of the community conversation when we come together. So just really grateful for these opportunities. And there was just a lot of activity in the community for food resources as well as gift exchange. So just been really, trying to collectively be part of those initiatives and really share that experience.
Thanks, Lori. You did such a fantastic job. And I know Steve's been very active too in the community, so
Thank you.
it's always really positive things.
Just an update on the staffing side of things. So this has been obviously, this is a big year and putting together this puzzle, Joe has led this process of figuring out exactly who we need. We worked a lot with Paul the last number of years on sort of putting this rubric together. Figuring out what the right skill sets were and then when we needed them. But, don't want to look too soon, don't want to pay for a month more than we need to pay for, but soon enough that they can onboard and we can smoothly operate. I just want to give a shout out to Joe because he knows how to do this and he has just done a masterful job. And folks have come on kind of just in time. And the National Western Center, one of the greatest gifts we have is that when the National Western Center does a job posting, we get applicants. Oh my goodness, we get talent that shows up. And Joe and Jenna and Katie and others have really created a very efficient system of taking in these applications, assessing them, and then going through this multi-step interview process to making an offer to a final candidate. It's been a whole work stream for us. If you think about it, there's been over 18 new people or something like that brought on through 2025. That is a workflow in itself to do well. And I think that Joe is in particular has done just a great job for that. So, and the proof is in the pudding. If things are running smoothly, if we are covering the bases, the campus looks great. It's providing great customer service from the moment they get the first sales call on the event till we do events close out. The entire arc of that customer experience is going well. So it's a really exciting time. And an exciting time for the organization as it grows, lots of new folks. We've worked really hard on maintaining the culture that we had with that core group of original folks and what was working then and how do we communicate who we are and why we are and how we work and the very high bar we set for every single decision we make and the kind of effort and passion and commitment that we require and want to not just incent but obligate our team to show up with every day. When you're a startup and you're doing something that hasn't been done before, it takes a unique kind of individual who because we can't always hand them an SOP book. We're developing those SOP books, but it takes a while to develop them. So you got to have folks who are detail oriented and get the job done, but also are constantly committed to improving the process at each and making a learning experience. And I'm proud and I'm super proud of the team. And I've told them that the last couple of meetings, the outcomes are positive and we're getting there. So just wanted to sort of give you a little bit of the sort of overview of the staffing piece, because we don't talk about it a lot, but how you do that for all lots of us here who have built teams, how you do that is super important. So
Good job, Joe. I mean, that's not easy to do. And you must be doing something right with the quality of people that you get. So,
Thanks.
I will see your.
Steve Nally.
Steve, you're the oldest guy here.
Older.
You're not qualified for the young guns. And
We can squeeze you in if you want.
Anything else, Brett?
No, that's it.
Great. Any questions for Brett? Great, thanks, Steve. Department report, City and County of Denver, the update was provided in the board packet. Mike, anything else we have?
No, just great events around the ribbon cutting of the livestock center, so I think everyone was able to be out there. Mayor really was impressed and, you know, we kind of set him up perfectly for his, Denver as the capital of the New West, pitch. That you probably heard at the State of the City this summer. So this was the perfect opportunity for him to bring that home. So just thanks to everyone to get us where we are, and it's a big deal. The center of gravity has moved to this side of the tracks for the first time. This campus is going to operate like it was envisioned. So really excited to see it hit the ground running in 2026.
Yeah, facility looks great. Hey, Mike, how are the acoustics in the Colbank Center? Are they pretty, have you guys tested? I think Brad mentioned you've been using quite a bit of.
Yeah.
Have they had a real live?
Wow. We were up there, Brad and Wes and I were up there giving some brief remarks at the Friends and Family soft opening last week, and it's an impressive sound system, and the ribbon board and the scoreboard, the video looping on the scoreboard, like it's really pretty amazing.
We had it was a live band that Thursday night, and I mean, PRG did the full concert setup, stage, lights, full, had, you know, I don't know, do you know how many speakers are in that?
I don't know.
Got to be hundreds.
Yes.
I mean, that, and the sound quality, and I walked everywhere, was really impressive. Those panels, those sound dampening panels that are in the ceiling did their job, and it was clean and crisp. It was very better than I expected, actually.
It only get better when it's full of people.
And right, that's true too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Well, they bring on the livestock and the legacy of just really, like you said, moves the center of gravity over there. And just two really incredibly impressive buildings. So good job, Mike. Any other questions for Mike? Thanks. The CSU update was provided in the board packet. I don't think Jeremy's with us today. But Tony, any comments you want to make? Tony, you're required to make a few comments. Like, I'll pay you for this meeting. We'll let you pass.
Whoa, that was good.
Dr. Brett on probation. We recess in 2026. WSSA, report update provided during the board meeting. Doug, is that gonna be you or is it, Wes, you on the line?
Wes can do it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Wes, go ahead, apologize.
Yeah, I'm here. So thank you. I appreciate that. Sorry, I am not in person. There's some other things going on around here, so trying to get that done. We'll run through this slideshow as soon as Jenna gets it cranking. So you can go to the updates, and actually go to the third slide will be fine. I'll just do a little update here on some numbers. So you can see there our entries closed officially about a week and a half ago. And so here's just some highlights of those that we believe are kind of high end, what we see. And so when you look at these and compare those, you know, when the thing with the yards cattle and some of the specialty stuff, there are actually some late entries that will still come in on those. But if you focus on the top three, the junior market animals, the junior cattle, which is our junior heifer show, which has a brand new Supreme Heifer scholarship program with it, where we will select on Saturday the 24th the top 5 heifers out of the 26 breed champion heifers that will be with us during the entire run of the stock show. That is directly related to having put more scholarship money. That program will reach, it'll start with about $54,000 this year, and by 2028 it'll be at $100,000 in contributions back to those students that are bringing their junior heifers here to us. I think the barns, the buildings, you know, it all drives this. You can go to the next slide if you want. Here's a little more breakdown of exactly where we are on entries and those that are very significant to us when we look at kind of what that is. And I'll point to the Open Herefords and the Open Angus. For a number of years, we have, I guess, battled Oklahoma City and the reputation that potentially we were not as good as Oklahoma City. Well, I will tell you that in the conversations that I have had since I have been here and prior to coming here, that feeling is no longer there, and our exhibitors were just, I think, waiting on us to build it. And so now that it's built, they're all coming, and so it's good for us to have strong showings in those folks. And even the Open Highlands, when you look at us, what is a specialty breed for most stock shows, is a huge show. We get a lot of those cattle coming out of Canada, and so very proud of that. So next slide, please. Just a little bit, I wanted to share some of our marketing that you'll see out in the in the community, and these are just a couple of outdoor boards that you'll see that relate to the We Are the West campaign and how we are embracing that. And ultimately, there's kind of two campaigns, if you will, in the market right now. You have the We Are the West campaign, and then you have the Call to Action campaign. We Are the West covers really our heritage history. It's our new tagline. You'll see it on just about everything we do. And, we're going to continue to embrace that as the place where you can come and learn about the spirit of the American West. And so the next slide will be a video with Doug Jones's lovely voice on it. So go ahead and play that, please.
I just don't know if we're gonna get audio on this, Wes. I'm sorry, I wasn't prepared for the
Okay.
video.
No worries. So maybe, yeah.
That's the best part.
Yeah, Doug, can you just go along with it? And
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
so there are 3 different sets of this video that just basically tell the story of this whole process, this gathering, this place that is ultimately our home and your home and the home of everybody that has embraced this community and this project and all those kind of things. And so you'll see this as well before every rodeo performance and a lot of events that we do. And so there's a good point there where the longhorn is in the eye of that young child. But we talk about the legacy in the Sue Ann Schutz Rogers Livestock Center, and for us, it's just a great way for us to share with everybody the beautiful things that are being built here on this campus. So, yeah, go to the next one. Yeah, I can share that for sure. So, Jenna, you can go on.
Yeah, if you can send the links, Wes, we'll send it out to the board.
Okay, I'll do that.
Sorry, Wes, there's just a couple of steps we have to take in order for the audio to play through, so.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Next time. No, it's okay.
That is spectacular.
I'll share a little background of this whole campaign if I can, Wes.
Yeah, go ahead.
In May of 24, at our annual retreat of the Board of Directors of the Western Stock Show Association, we initiated a strategic planning process. We had 6 committees, 40 members. We populated them with trustees and board members. I asked the board member to chair each one of these committees, and one of those was marketing. And the idea was, over 6 months, we went through marketing, we went through strategy, we went through livestock, we went through, or some of the other ones. Anyway, we went through all these, and it was incredibly productive. In September of 24, we approved it by the board of directors. And out of that came what you see here, We Are the West. That became a moniker that we all agreed upon in those discussions, in those meetings. But also with that, we have these new buildings we're trying to talk about, but also we created mission, vision, and values. And we said this will be the destination to experience the spirit of the West. That's our vision. Experience the spirit of the West. And through that, we have gone through and the values of the West, the Western heritage, all the above. So this marketing campaign has evolved since that was September of 24. we've been a year, so this has been a work in progress for some time. And the final product of this and these images you see and all the social media that you'll be seeing came out of a long, lengthy discussion of a lot of members, a lot of trustees, a lot of board members, a lot of cussing and discussing about what we're gonna be and who we wanna be. And so this is that evolution. Of course, we were also the 120th year. That was an important milestone in what we were trying to accomplish as well. So it's trying to be respectful. It's trying to talk about the people who made 120 years what we are, and also the people we're going to carry forward. And it's always about agriculture. Agriculture. People need to understand the source of their food, and that is agriculture. Agriculture produces food for America, for the world.
So is that to say you're rebranding away from the stock show to?
No,
Okay,
no.
no, so it's fun.
National Western Stock Show is 16 days. The National Western is the kind of the moniker year round. But now with the legacy, the legacy, and We Are West is just a tagline to the National Western.
Well, Wes, Doug, this is really good.
Yeah.
I really like the way you guys do marketing and, this is just really impressive.
Just wait till you hear the voice.
You haven't heard it.
Yeah.
I like the non-voice when you do that. But yeah, the better one. But this is impressive.
Really.
And I saw the commercial this morning. So it was on after the news.
Oh.
Mhm.
Go ahead, Wes. Sorry to jump in.
Yeah, no, you're great, Doug. So yeah, that next slide is just really the call to action slides about buying tickets. And so I just wanted to share with y'all kind of how it all ties together because we really have two different ones in the market. To your point, Lori, here is the commercial. And so we'll skip it for now. I did want to take a minute, and I'll share both of those with y'all. I did want to take a minute just to address EHV1 and the things that you may have heard in market and what that means. And I am no expert by any means. If there's an expert on this panel, it would be Dr. Frank. So his initials behind his name are much more important than mine. But anyway, EHV1 is the equine herpes virus. There was a bloom or an outbreak that came from Texas back in the 1st of November. And it did affect, or mid-November, it did affect what was going on in Las Vegas over the last 2 weeks with the finals. There's been a number of questions about how does it affect stock show from starting with the parade all the way through to the end. As a point to that, not really because of EHV, but because of the continued work of our staff to continue to look at our biosecurity policies and procedures, then we had started back in May working on a new plan for that with Merck Animal Health and some products that they have that are very organic in nature, but are very effective at killing viruses and those kind of things on surfaces. You can literally spray them on the horse, on you as a person. It does not affect you, but it is a very good disinfectant at one level, but more than that, it kills viruses and germs that cause things like EHV. And so we were already a step ahead, I would say, as an organization in preparing for this. But the things that we have also done to address this is to not bring horses to the facility. Today through Sunday, or tomorrow through Sunday, actually, we will have the qualifier for the rodeo where we used our timed event contestants, tie down, team roping, steer wrestling. We'll be down there competing to come back to Denver in January. We moved that to Douglas County. We're working very closely with their facility folks and their county about how we sprayed that facility down prior to doing that. That's what's going on today down there during the setup. We'll spray each night after the horses leave before the next set comes in. And then we'll also on the 28th of this month do the barrel racing qualifier. And so we've really broken those things up and moved them away from this facility just to protect it in case there was an outbreak. Understand that EHV is something that in the horse world we deal with a lot. And it's not an uncommon thing that it's been around a number of years. But it is important, I think, this group understand that we as Stock Show are taking every precaution necessary to ensure that we are protecting our animal athletes and our animal participants. And to that end, when we get to stock show, there will be additional health requirements over and above the certificate of veterinary inspection. They will also be, which has to be done within 10 days. And then they'll have to also have a 3-day temperature log so that they take the temperature of that horse morning and evening before that animal arrives. And we'll have to show those. And we're working very close with the state vet as well as CSU Vet School to have some vet students here on grounds to help us monitor those things. So any questions on that, any rumors you're hearing out there, please don't hesitate to ask me. We're happy to share our information and make sure that it is accurate information. So that's my report, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, thank you, Wes. Any questions for us? Great, thank you, Wes.
Yes.
Community update. Who is doing the community
Is that me? So I have different updates and this 22nd of December, there's gonna be a Christmas crafts and arts with Global First. And that's gonna be at 5090 Broadway. It's gonna be from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. We're gonna be there volunteering. Like it's in- And then on the 23rd, there's gonna be a toy drive also with Global First. Same place, 5090 Broadway, from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Yeah. And also we're working on trying to get funds for Dia de los Reyes, which will be like a 4th year doing it. So the first year we were able to give out about 200 toys. The 3rd year we were able to give away about 400 and something. The 2nd year, like 200 and something. They changes. So we're trying to see if we can find some funds for these coming year. And we're trying to do it on the 13th of January. I'll probably do it there at 5090 Broadway. We haven't used that rec center much, so it will be good to use it too. And mostly because it's closer to my house.
We need some Wes to spray here, get rid of the fly.
Yeah. Mosquitoes, the compost, because of the compost. Also, trying to figure out, we're gonna continue some comunitarios, we get funding, we get a way to fund the program, so. I think that's it.
Any questions for Sarah?
The other what? The who?
You said there's an event, Dia de something, they turn out.
Dia de los Reyes, so it's the Three Kings Day.
Oh.
Because in Mexico, we celebrate that. So in Mexico, a lot of kids don't get toys on Christmas. So there's, because of money, whatever issues. So El Dia de los Reyes, there's a lot of organizations giving out toys on January 6th. And that's where all those kids that didn't get toys on Christmas, they get toys. So that's how. And they also do La Rosca de Reyes, which is a big bread. He knows. It's delicious. And they put babies inside. So whoever gets a baby is gonna make tamales. February the 2nd, which is El Día de la Candelaria, which is a virgin, and this because in Mexico they're was very Catholic, so they do all these things.
My favorite thing about Three Kings Day growing up in southern New Mexico was going to Catholic school to get the day off. I remember the graduation, great fun. Thanks, Evan. Let's see, financial update. I think Nicole's not here today, but.
She's online.
Oh, Nicole, sorry, apologize. Financial update, Nicole?
Well, I'll just hand it over to Mitzi anyways, so, Mitzi, go ahead.
Good job, Nicole. Very important, Nicole. Very concise. Good for.
All right, so through November, our operating revenue was at 104% of plan. We had planned for 5 million, we're at 5.2. Of that amount, 1.94 million is related to events revenue. I checked the number this morning and we've actually exceeded the goal. 2,000 shy of 2 million, and there's quite some pretty substantial items remaining in F and B from all these parties that we've been having, so we're gonna crush that goal. Operating expenses, 95% of plan at 6.2 compared to 6.5. So that leaves our net deficit in November at 1 million compared to 1.5 in the plan. When we factor in district energy and EQC, our net deficit is at $3.2 million. Cash remains strong at $7 million in the bank at the end of November, but I do caution, we do have some pretty big FF&E and startup cost expenses in December related to Livestock Center, so. But we will, end the year with a really good result, I do believe. Thank you.
Great, any questions for Mitzi? Think back where we were 2 or 3 years ago at this time, the reports were so much more positive, so. Good to hear. Thanks, Mitzi. Campus services, no meeting this month. Community benefits?
Just provided in the board packet.
Great. Any questions first? It's like a fly from home. Talking, isn't it? Yeah. Thanks for this. Facilities update, we have an action item. Brad, you want to talk about that for Steve?
Yeah.
So we were gonna do the facilities report first.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry, Joe.
No, you're fine. It's all good. Go to the next slide on that one. So it's been a minute since we got to talk about facilities, so it's good to come back and catch everybody up with what's going on. A lot has gone on, which is a good thing because a building came online, a couple. So just kind of want to go through some of the stuff that's out there. Some of the main things is optimizing facility operations and structure systems. Preparations for the livestock. We were able to get all of our stuff aligned coming from SYEC to, I always do acronyms on these, but a Stockyard Event Center over to Livestock Center. And now applying that across the campus. That's been a really big piece for us to make sure that we're just moving smoothly amongst all pieces. Sorry, an alert here. Okay, and then another big piece of this that we're excited to really engage with is kind of leaning into what Brad said slightly, is that we have our staff in place, which has been a big lift. And when you get that in place, you can pivot and put your eyes to other things that we need to do that are important, that are in the framework, that are important to the campus. And one of that is to make sure that we're efficiently and effectively working with our partners. So as we work in with WSSA to make sure that we're able to backfill where they're removing staff in a very a way that makes sense so that nobody's falling down. That's the way we're kind of shifting into the next year, is I do a handover from the triangle over to the authorities. So that's a big deal for us to be taking operations on that. It's a big deal for them letting go of operations on that. So this is a big piece for us. We have a year handover process that's going on with that, where all of our entities are meeting regularly to make sure that all pieces and parts are transactioned correctly on that. And then when we get to February 1st for signatures to go, that we're in a really good spot. Maintaining those buildings to stay booked and active is a big deal. And making sure that our staff that's staying relatively, growing a little bit, but staying relatively the sizes, can handle more buildings that are coming on in those processes. And I think that all talks to each other because we were able to build that out so well that it just makes that relatively smooth. Intentional timing and for staffing and resources, Brad, you touched on this mostly, so I'm gonna kind of just emphasize the fact that that's a moving target. It's a complicated target. It kind of, I feel like, is taking a plane off. You have to get it right or you don't take off. And we took off. So that's a good thing to all of our staff, everybody who's been involved with that. That's a lot to do. And it's because of support that we had through that. So thank you to everybody. It's a big deal and we did it and it was quiet, which is actually a big deal. When you do it quietly and nobody has to hear much about anything, I'm thinking that's probably the best way to do it. Major transitions, we also were able to put into effect managing our own 2C funds. We aligned with the zoo, museum, stuff like that, with cultural venues. Mitzi's been a huge lift in getting all of this prepared as we go forward. It helps us be more quick with our procurements, with our things that we're doing. And it actually really helps the city staff not have to worry about us. So this is a big deal to relieve them from having to worry about us and focus on the rest of the city. So there was a lot of work that went into that, and I think everybody's really happy. We have a very good working relationship with them still. So feeling comfortable as we move forward with that kind of pivot. And then our team is just continually being in the background, assisting as needed. It's each one of us are able to pivot more into the equestrian center project, technical operations, all of that. That shift is happening now, one at a time, kind of as each person's role jumps over there. On the next slide, we've talked about these programs we put in. We did maintenance, all of this, but we really didn't get to come back and talk about what that's doing. So this is just giving you a glimpse into our first year of really showing numbers. 510 work orders. It's actually not that big of a number, but it is a big number in the world of us because this was 1.5 buildings at that time. This will go up drastically. And why this is so important for us is the fact that this allows us to hear quickly what the problems are around campus, get them fixed quickly, and then get them back online. And this allows all people on the campus to give us feedback. So partners, attendees, our staff, anybody can use our process out there, scan, let us know problems, we fix it, we get it back online. That along with our preventative maintenance, I think really keeps us in a good position as we go forward to keep these buildings shiny, as new as you can. Big trucks all over the place, big items all over the place, things are gonna get hit. We have to get that back online and make it look good. On the next slide, ongoing and upcoming campus operations. One of the things that's, I think, really exciting about 26 is we have all of our services in place now. We have our staff behind those services that are able to react and help. So we're really going to be able to pivot to WSSA, to CSU, to other entities on campus and offer up our services. Use our campus and the leverage we have everybody together to come up with better deals with everything that we run into, from Kone and conveyances to spray and pest control to just electrical and really showing CSU we've really engaged with just recently. And I think they're excited about it, that they can just tap to us for resources. And instead of them having to do their whole contract, pay probably more hours than they need, they can work with us. We can extend some of our services out and just work a deal between us. So this should be a cost savings for our partners. And it allows us leverage to really get better deals. So that's kind of an exciting piece that's going into this. And these are really just high-level things that will be going into this year. Standing up, if we haven't, getting them standing up, and the bulk of these are ready to go. These are in the framework. These are things we should be doing. And we're really hitting on all of those this year so we can get our reporting out to the city, to the board, to our partners, and they know what's going on everywhere, and really believe that we are in charge of that and moving that forward. So everything from security and safety, sustainability and waste meetings that are now on with partners engaged. Parking, that's a big deal. Was talked about in the garage and everything else, but it is a big deal. So we have another year of a dance of parking and more, but getting some of those garages on, making sure we're there to help in any way we can, with management styles or what's asked of us. IT and technology has been a big lift in getting our house systems on, these screens, these monitors. There's a lot that goes in behind the scene. SD-WAN, what we use in our fiber, those take a lot of knowledge and education behind them. And we're getting the people in place so that when you come in here, you just ask for it and it's all done. Nobody has to have a traumatizing experience through that. The CUP is continuing to get it up and going. Our team has been supporting that. They're start testing right now still, I believe, and stuff like that. So good things going on over there. Campus coordination continues to educate. We're using that more as a platform to say, here are educational things we're doing, whether it's CPR, AED trainings, other trainings that can be beneficial, emergency trainings on campus that anybody can participate in, and we just become a safer, more educated campus as we go forward. Future roundup or one-stop booking. That's where we work at this as a cohesive piece with CSU and WSSA. So the clients have kind of a one-stop shop type deal. They don't have to work with all these entities and get frustrated. And behind the scenes, we deal with all that. So we continue to push forward on that process. Meeting with our food and beverage partners, which is a big deal with that contract that we have there. City procurement, I touched on. Campus directory, that's coming out so that everybody knows how to get a hold of everybody. There's a lot of moving pieces here, a lot of who do I get a hold of. That's going to be incredibly helpful. We'll keep that up going. Yeah, bless you, sorry. And then we've managed to get through our services and key procurements, which I had talked about just a little bit ago. Marketing, sponsorship, and branding guides, we've now got that all out for the campus, so everything from sponsorship can push forward to our events, know exactly where they can put and what kind of marketing they can do on events. And then internally, we have all of our placements that we know we're gonna continue to grow on and push those forward, which is a good place to be because before it was a little watery. So we're happy to get that all stabilized. And community events and programming meetings with partners, those continue on. Lori takes the lead with that. She has oodles of groups that come and projects that come, and we have to kind of weed through what makes sense, what we can do, what we can handle, and how we support those. That goes over to Brad a lot of times to make sure if it makes sense for us and can handle that, but it's continuing to grow. We just keep stepping into that in a really strong way, and it's exciting to see. On the next slide, this is really just to kind of, I'm not gonna go through all of these, but this is really to show the amount of procurements we've been pushing through in the final years. Sometimes entities maybe get one of these done in a year or two, and we've been able to get all of these through in a really good way where we've been able to tap into CIF, we've been able to tap into community, we've been able to tap into marketing platforms, and all of those will really start to show their worth as we kind of pivot into the next year. I gotta scroll down a second here, I'm on, but to the next one. Yeah, that's Jessica. She's been doing a lot on that. So a lot of times you'll see her coming in here and we talk about them onesie twosie, but when you put it all in a picture like that, it's significant. And some of these contracts are not little contracts. Fiber, Comcast, Verizon, these are big deals, Marks and things all the time, but yeah, it's infrastructure for sure. Facility staffing approach, this has already really been kind of talked about and how we're looking at making sure that making sure there's no redundancy in what we're doing, that we're really looking at where are the fills that we need to do, what is the timing that's there to make sure that there's no fall downs on campus. So being very cognizant of that at all times because it's a big deal. We need to be able to function, but we need to do it at the right times. And then on the next slide, facilities and operations look ahead. We were able to execute, Mitzi kind of pulled on this, or talked about this, 1.4 million in FF&E this last year, get it in, get it on time, get it in where it needs to be, so we're up and going. We had a lot of support from the city entities of procurement and sourcing. So all of their teams we've said shout outs to, they were phenomenal and really helpful through this process. Next year, we own it. So we'll have them to fall back on, which is great to have that support. If there's anything that's too big for us, we kick it off. We already can do that, but if it's everything that we can handle, we're good to go. And we have another 3.5 million to try to get in the doors for us to be able to truly function in a good way. Campus operations partners, our event volume continues to grow. The coordination becomes more and more intense. And that's just going to be an ongoing piece that we really get stabilized and all of that. Prepare 26 triangle handover. I already talked about that, but that is a big piece in our world coming forward. So WSSA has been incredibly good at working with us, setting up our meetings that we need to do and allowing us to be invasive. It's an invasive process. It can be uncomfortable. Well, I think we're all ready to just kind of move on this and get it going. So that will take place throughout this year, and we'll kind of talk about that at our next meeting when we do this later on. And then refine our 27 to 29 plans. We constantly look at those, see what did we have, what did we think we need, can we refine that, can we change that to make sure that we're just being as efficient and effective as possible. And then moving on to the next chart. Just a little bit of glimpse into sales as we go forward. You're not going to hear about it entirely. This is really a topic for the first, I think, meeting of next year. But we did want to slightly highlight that what's been going on over there, so you can kind of just know, but we've been hammering away at 26. It has been a big lift to get that contracting into place while maintaining 25. And one of the things that I kind of wanted to show here is that we're only identifying a few of our revenue sources that we really capitalize on here. We have other ones that are not shown in this graph in particular because they're not tracked in this format. But we're already sitting with contracted events coming in close to $3.4 million. with some of our ancillary fees and things like that we know, and this is conservative, we were very conservative on how we came forward with this. Just to make sure that we don't have a miss. With SYAC itself, we'll put another million and then we know that we have a lot of ancillaries that will be filling that up. So we're coming into 26 in a really strong position, which is good. SYAC is backfilling really well, which is a positive for us. And we've got just, the building was built well. The people who designed it was well. I was not a part of that. I was a part of building it and getting it online, but I wasn't a part of the design. And one thing that we just keep running into is the flexibility and how much we can do in there. And it's showing its worth right now. So shows are just their creativity. And with anything from giant concerts, and we're talking giant concerts, to sporting events, to agricultural and regenerative events, which we continue to try to hammer on, community events, and it's all coming together. So it's just an exciting highlight for us to kind of know where we're at, where we're going. One other piece we're really gonna push on this next year, Lori, Jenna, and others are involved with this, is really activating the campus. So we have reasons for people to just come here for no particular reason. It doesn't have to be. So everything from the market, which we trialed out last year, we're ready to grow that. WSSA is going to step in more and figure out how they have a role in that, and CSU aligns with Second Saturdays on that, so we'll continue to do that. We're also looking at doing a turkey party. We're looking at doing a rubber ducky race where we can be competitive with our partners to go see who wins for the year and gets bragging rights. But also those will be fundraisers. And then we're going to really try to have a strong anywhere from Halloween into holiday experience, so that when you come here, you have a reason to be here for a long time. Come to an event and walk around for hours. That segues us into the stock show, which continues that holiday life through. So we're excited to be able to show what's going on with all of that this year and how we're moving into that. And my final slide.
Hey, Joe.
Yeah.
So talk about the strongholds and what does that add? So 3.4, whatever.
Right.
Contracted.
Yeah.
What are the holds? What's the value of the holds you expect to convert in the next, 120 days?
Yeah, I mean, again, coming back to how we reference this, this is our forecasting pieces that we were checking the boxes on to see how we get into there. We have in contract, this is 75% to fully contracted in here. We have probably another, it's about double of that. That's in the hoppers to come through. A lot of that we're very comfortable with that are gonna come through, but we always have a couple that are wobbling there. And then on the final slide, a preview of sales and events, livestock events, 2027 triangle events. Those are gonna be big pieces coming from us. Equestrian bookings, we're treading into new water. We have partners that will help us out there, but animals have not been our thing yet. So this is a new world for us to understand equestrian bookings that are now going to sit on our work and on our contracts and stuff. However, we have a strong relationship with Clint, Jen, their team, that they will handle a lot of the front end of that. We are just kind of booking and support through some of these in ways that we need to. Sales support, coordination, and alignment with WSSA. We'll also be doing OVG. That deal is, getting buttoned up. We should be close to that maybe by this year, if we're lucky. Then they should be bringing additional concerts and other bookings like that. So that'll be a strong support into what we're doing. We had successful ticketing onboarding, so 3 ticketing companies brought on. That was a challenge all in itself, but we have 3 strong ticketing companies, and groups are really, they're excited about that. They love to have that option. They like the choice. So it's a good place for us to be sitting in. We just need them all to get some business. Our ongoing alignment with Visit Denver, Visit Aurora, coordinations, and now we're really stepping into national and international events. Matt Payne, the sports commission, was here just like last week, and Bart, right? They were excited. Thanks again for supporting that, but a lot of ideas. People saw it and they were blown away. It is shocking how many people don't know what's sitting here until they get into the buildings. And they're like, what? How did this just get built? And we're just finding out about it. So that whole world is looking at volleyball tournaments, volleyball groups, sporting events. And then we have a lot of international groups that are trying to bring tournaments into here, stuff like that. So just trying to align a cyclocross is interesting for sure.
Hey, Joe, could I just add one comment on the equestrian piece that they're gonna just chat? So this, I think, is a really good example of what Joe was talking about before, of trying to put together
Question and livestock.
the question and livestock for any four-legged events. And so, that's what the teams have been working really closely on. It's gone really well. It really has been very collaborative. Neither organization wants to carry any cost that we don't have to, so looking for efficiency on both fronts. So I know that's been a question. I just want you to know that conversation's been going on for 2 years, about how we navigate this transition more and more.
Mhm. Yeah, it's a good point. Thank you. The last things on here that we've talked about before is AIO, the app that we'll be putting out. We are buttoning that up. It is going to be a cool piece for us. We can push a lot of marketing, we can get for sponsorships, we can get a lot of things with that. And the events are excited that we are in the forward thinking mindset of what campuses need. It's something that I think we're way ahead of the curve. Groups are doing it all the time. We were lucky enough to be able to get this figured out for our campus. And then finally, tracking of evolution of comparables, a look ahead of what venues are doing, what new build venues are coming out, keeping our eye on those. It is competitive out here. There's a lot of big buildings that are coming on that we're gonna have to kind of pay attention to, and then just making sure that we have our right lane to make sure that we stay booked in business. So that's where we're at. That's what I got for you today.
Great, Joe, looking forward to it.
I have one, for anyone who deals with four-legged events. I went to Belco to see Teddy Swims about 2 weeks ago, and there was a group, and of course, I'm not gonna remember, AAEE. It was some equestrian vision something event, and it was gigantic. They had like 25 registration people. It was huge. Are you guys tracking that? Do you even know what it is?
Is that the arena and like I believe that we were engaged with that in the sense that Clint was over there. Is that, I don't know. I don't exactly know if that's the one that they were doing, which is like circuses and arenas and shows like that.
I have no idea. It was the
Okay.
convention center.
Yeah,
It was a couple Saturdays ago.
Yeah.
It was huge.
yeah, they did
Fairs
a,
and.
Oh, yeah.
and they did
Yeah, so
a,
Wes and Mike Bouchard and I spoke at that.
Yeah.
We did 2 sessions. Yeah,
Okay.
and then they did a tour at the,
Is that-
I guess,
that was
It
the,
looks like a huge group.
that was
they
the
were here.
fairs group. It was amazing. There were,
Yeah,
I
I heard it
think
was.
they had a couple of thousand people that do fairs and rodeos across the United States.
I've never seen that many registration people at a conference. It
Yeah.
was.
They did
There was how many out here? There were like
Yeah, we did a tour out there.
500-600.
Yeah, they had 600 that came here. There was a tour of the campus, the little breakout session.
Really?
And they came to the campus and toured around, yeah.
Yeah.
Who would have known with that many people? I guess it makes sense, every county's got a fair, they were all here.
It was quite an affair.
Quite an affair.
Oh.
Wow, Joe just made it hurts.
For me, it's-
Stay in your lane.
Everybody's gonna be.
This is so impressive. I mean, as a former ops guy, I mean, the amount of the lift, the integration and the conversations of what, I mean, there's so many, you're playing 3-dimensional chess here and I know how exhausting it is, but man, the work shows. And I'm just really, congratulations to you and your team and your leadership, thoughtfulness, and it's really something to be proud of.
I have another question, but yeah, before that, it is impressive. We sometimes take for granted the enormity of the lift you guys do around here, so that's a pretty impressive slide. I'm wondering, given your comment about when people get here and they say, wow, I can't believe these facilities are here, and how come I didn't know about it? I think twice this week, I've been in a room where somebody called us the stock show, all due respect. Somebody said something about the mayor's work over at the stock show and how that's going well and I was noticing driving down I-70 one day that we don't appear to have signage. The stock show's right there prominently displayed. Or what are we doing to try and correct this kind of branding problem? Everybody thinks we're the stock show, which is a wonderful thing.
So can you talk a little about, we did a presentation.
Now you're gonna say all of that?
I mean, so there's pros and cons, right? I mean, we're kind of dovetailing on this brand that has been so prominent in our community for 120 years. So in a lot of ways, it's a great thing. But on the other hand, we're trying to figure out how to differentiate ourselves in the market, next to not stock show and recognizing that they're part of what we're doing. We're going to be launching another huge marketing campaign next year. And I just did a presentation on this during our staff meeting yesterday, but we're really going to be hitting it super hard in February, kind of working off of the momentum that Doug and Wes just talked about. They are very prominent in the media market right now, so we're gonna kind of play off of their words of, we are the West, and we're gonna say, we're the West, but we're here all year round, so come visit us all year round. Messaging like that kind of indicates we're connected but separate. But yeah, it's been a challenge and something that we've dealt with since 2018, since the authority really came on board, but it's very top of mind for us, and we're trying to do it really thoughtfully, so that we're, supporting our partners and our friends at Stock Show, but also, like I said, differentiating ourselves in the marketplace, to be really more of that year-round event venue. And I think it's just frankly getting people out here to see it, firsthand, because to Joe's point, as people get out here, they are just flabbergasted, like, wow, I didn't right here, this is here. And that's been a challenging thing because it's kind of a chicken and an egg thing, it's like, do we market to the event planners or the consumer? Because we frankly need both, but we need the event planner to book their event here to bring the consumer to the site. So this year, our marketing campaign is really expanding. Last year, or this year in 2025, we were primarily targeting the consumer, but now we're really branching out in the next year to target also the event planner, the conference planners and things of that nature, so that we can get them out here. Maybe I can bring that to the board in February when we have our meeting, but we're doing some really cool things. Technology is just crazy these days, but we can, at the very beginning of this year, Joe and I came up with like a dozen different national conferences that are specific to conferences and event planners. And we are able to not even physically go to those conferences, but still geo-target every single person in attendance for those conferences. So say there's something in Austin, Texas, and we may not have the ability to get team members down there, we can still geo-target every single person that steps foot into that conference and send them ads through their social media accounts, through Google, and all of this crazy stuff. And then we can collect all of that demographic information, and ideally that'll lead to a lot of leads in the event space. So we're super excited about it, and I think we'll get there. It's just
And Jenna, Jenna was very strategic in partnering with Stock Show too. So we had our big brand campaign. We were on buses and
I saw,
cabs and
I
billboards
saw the video.
all the way through October.
Mhm.
And then intentionally stopped because that was planned, because Stock Show then starts their big ramp up. And then when Stock Show completes, then we'll pick it up again. So that's why today you're not seeing any.
Have we thought about just signage?
Yeah,
When you drive by
that's like-
CSU, it's like right there in your face, and
Yeah.
if you're from Denver, you know about the stock show.
we have a budget item for next year. We're gonna engage a specific signage company that specializes in wayfinding. So we've been thinking about kind of some huge welcome signs that you see kind of in housing developments and things where there's like a nice landscaping around them,
Like
stuff like
monument
that.
sign or something.
Yeah, but
Something
it's
you
gonna
can
be
see
like
from
a
the
holistic.
I-70 would be amazing.
Yeah,
Give the truck.
About the water tower, that's what we're talking about, is the
I-
logo on the
yeah,
water tower.
Loving
lighting.
Loving that for us.
Well, the historic piece airport.
It's actually,
It's not.
not,
Well, in the eyes of the public, it's.
yeah.
But I was gonna say, you know, the general public has never truly understand the authority, the governmental entity and all, it's just not, it's out of the wheelhouse. But as long as we, just as a National Convention Center, as long as we're all working together and kind of complementing each other in what we do, they won't care. They'll deliver the service they intended, they want.
And the experience, right?
And experience, exactly, experience.
The experience, I mean, I think, you know, and Bouchard kind of said this is, you know, with the legacy building done now and the livestock center done, Main and Main exists now.
Sure does.
And people are gonna walk away from the Sure Stock show telling the story of, oh my God, you have to see this. I mean, so now there's a place. And the fact that we, you know, for the first time in the history of the site, under the vision we laid out in 2015, it's happening. And I think, you know, to everybody's point, you will start to see more and more people come here because now there's this center of gravity that exists today that has not. Very exciting.
What great update, Phil. Thanks.
One additional question, for Boots and Business, is it still gonna be
To the event center.
at the top, up on top?
Yeah. The chamber decided they got 1,300 people, it's sold out. And 1,300, I think would be a little challenging, but the after party, which is a ticketed event, is gonna be the National Western Club and the Legacy, but the main event's over at the event center.
But nothing at the Livestock Center.
Nothing at the last section.
Citizens of the West will go on. Right,
It says the West will go on to Kovac Arena.
Yeah.
Oh, well, sure.
That'll be
Good.
good.
Great, thanks, Joe. What went on? Yeah, and Doug made a comment about the authority. I agree. When people ask me what the authority is, I give them like a 5-second explanation. But the thing is, just make sure they understand that what's here, CSU's here, stock shows here, this facility, that's all like, you don't care about the structure, like, so they just want to make sure it's pretty secure.
Yeah,
Experience.
to be honest, in the public facing realm, I never mention the word authority because it just muddies the waters and people get real confused about our role. So I just say we're the entity that represents the overall National
agree.
Western Center.
That's the way I
campus.
see it too.
Yeah, because there's so many entities involved and we all have the words National Western in our names, so it gets very confusing.
Because it's iconic.
It is, yeah.
You're not gonna put any signage on the Coliseum, right?
We don't have that right.
That's right for city.
That's
right. Okay, thanks, Joe. Great update. So now we'll go to the action item. Right, we're talking about what for Steve.
Mark, did we decide we needed to go into executive session? Yeah, we don't. Okay, great. Yeah, I think you're gonna do this.
Sure, yeah, I can give an overview. I sent an email out to everyone, so I'll just give a quick summary of that email. Speaking of entities, this is about creating a new entity, as it relates to historic tax credits in the livestock exchange building. So we, the authority, are a part of the ownership group. We're a tax exempt entity. And so a common practice here is when a tax exempt entity is part of an LLC, there are certain things that may inhibit tax advantages as it relates to historic tax credit. So under the federal historic tax credit rules, any nonprofit ownership interest reduces the total tax credit proportionally. Colorado Cattlemen's Association is also part of the LEB Alliance LLC, and they have created what's called a blocker entity, which is a taxable entity that becomes a part of the LEB Alliance LLC operating agreement. And so the proposal is to do the same for the authority. Create a blocker entity that will become the party or the member of the LEB Alliance LLC for 5 years to maximize the value of the historic tax credits. So Mark is really involved. Mark, anything you would add?
No, I mean, this is not an uncommon event. I've run it past our tax people. It's not gonna be a liability for the authority. And under the terms of the agreement with the LEB Alliance, if there is any liability or any tax liability, they will take it, not us. And so, this is not an uncommon event. I mean, these kinds of organizations are not an everyday thing, but it's not uncommon. And so we, from a risk standpoint, we think it's minimal to none. And so we recommend proceeding with this. Basically, what we're doing is we're, in essence, also fulfilling our role as a participant in the organization. And help them maximize that, because by helping maximize tax credits, they can maximize the use and payment for the building. So, which at the end of the day is helpful to the authorities plan, yeah.
And Nicole, your city looked at this too, and they're fine, correct?
Yes. Chief indicated that.
Yes.
Who's the beneficiary of the tax credits? The,
LAB Alliance,
okay,
well, and their investor.
Yes,
okay.
yeah, so there's an investor purchasing those tax credits and they're putting equity or cash into the LEB Alliance, which just becomes more scope in rehabilitation.
And what's the governance structure? Is it an LLC? Is the entity an LLC?
It will be, yes.
And what's the governance structure? Or who, I should say? Is there a managing member? Is
There
there?
will be, yes.
And
It will,
will that be
we'll
the
have our own,
authority?
sorry,
Will that be this authority?
yes.
Oh.
Yes.
For purposes of being a blocker entity for 5 years and then it'll disappear.
They'll
Do you
disappear.
know what they sold it tax credits for? Here's what they go in.
I do not know.
They kind of fluctuate over
And
years.
it probably depends on if this is approved.
High eighties, would you think?
I was 90, isn't it?
Is it not, is it as much as 90?
Really?
I was gonna say 80.
Is it?
But I have not heard that.
They got kind of crazy there for a while. They were going for like 102, 103, and I couldn't figure out why, because depreciation and stuff, they can still make it work at those numbers, but that was kind of a crazy market.
Interesting.
Great.
Finance committee did recommend approval.
Great.
And we got a motion in front of you.
I'm actually gonna have Brad make the motions. I'm gonna excuse myself because we have a loan on the property, so go ahead.
Got it. So, Mark crafted the motion as follows. Motion for the board to approve the creation of a separate LLC for the sole purposes of assisting compliance by the authority's fellow members in the LEB Alliance LLC to meet tax and funding compliance, and to authorize the CEO and his delegatees negotiate and execute all documents to form the entity and to perform any related actions.
Move approval.
For second? Second. Any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Thanks for your work on this.
Yeah.
Public.
Oh, yeah, we should say abstentions, we should track, please put it in the notes, Chair Eckers recused himself from that vote.
Public comment? Anybody on the line?
We do have a couple members of the public on. If you would like to make a comment, please raise your hand so I can promote you to a speaker. I'm not seeing any hands, Mr. Chair. I think we can
Okay.
move on.
We are now closed to public comment. I talking to Brad, I don't feel we need executive session this month. So unless anybody has any issues they want to talk about. Not have a board meeting in January. It's correct. Let's talk to them. And, so anything else for this week? Just a lot of, I'm sorry, you go ahead.
And this is not an executive session request, it's just a request. I know there will be some kind of operational handoff to your successor. But I'm wondering if we can't ask for something for the board's benefit. That's maybe your top 3 challenges going forward, your top 3, I don't know, wins, something in the win column. Just give us a heads up. In fact, as a board, I mean, I get how it works. We tend to hear most of the good stuff, and I just like to be prepared with the new leader for what we're looking at in a way that's a little deeper than what we get here. Would you consider doing that either conversationally or a document or?
Absolutely, I think that, and I've told the finance committee and others that purpose of this going in under contract right now is to allow some flexibility so that I can be here long enough to help, but not too long to hinder. So whatever that means, I'm really flexible around that. This is working right now for me to kind of be with feet in different places and want to be as helpful as possible and provide whatever kind of support. And it would be, to me, having some onboarding overlap time, I think could be helpful. And then also, quite frankly, just to be available, because there is no way to put this all down on paper. It's just not, that is not realistic. And so we can put a lot of it down on paper, and we can't put all of it down on paper. And so happy to, I think that's a great idea. Most others will be
And I'm
happy to do
keep
it.
it high
Yeah.
level, but it'd be interesting to know what your deepest fears are right now. Yeah.
We're trying to recruit somebody.
Let's go kill it.
Self-discovery.
That one.
Self-discovery is part of it, yeah.
Kind of hide involved with
No, I hear you.
That'd be, I appreciate it.
So this is one of the more positive meetings we've had in the last 5 years. Great report from Mid-C, great report from General. Lloyd, I mean, it's across the board, and it's one so well staffing and. But it's all of the great work that's being done, it doesn't happen by itself. But can you all send this map separately?
That's a good.
Yeah.
Sure.
Because it'd be interesting, I mean, this is a really interesting map, and if it was, you know, if you could blow it, you know.
Yeah,
Blow it
absolutely.
up and all that sort of thing, I can't tell where some of the streets are, but this is.
Yeah.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's also been a neighborhood conversation.
Well, that's what this map's great for. Dottie was at this last month CAC and presented this map, and one of the
There's points of it I'd like to like look it up and see what the street is, what's going on, but this is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
There's one address that the packing horse, packing house, make sure the wrong spot. Brings it across the highway.
Yeah.
So,
So I walked around there for a while.
the plat is not complete, and Lugo has been working feverishly for, honestly, like 5 years. It is the plat of this old rail yard and stockyards looks like a Picasso painting covered up with a Mondrian painting, covered up with something else. The survey is a piece of artwork. It's unbelievable. And all of those easements have to be either removed or go through their legal process in order to replat the streets in new property lines. And unfortunately, until that is complete, Waze, Google Maps, Apple Maps, none of them will put the street address of a street that in their mind doesn't legally exist yet. So we have done it all with pins. So if you're going to the Stockyard Event Center, you Google Map the Stockyard Event Center and the pin is there. And then when we have big events, we have to flag it. We have to have folks, because you get in the vicinity and then we start pointing. Stop looking at your phone and start following directions.
We're operating, we have 2 different addresses that we're waiting for this to have them. Package House Road and National Western Center Drive, we're just kind of no man's land.
Wasn't that your department that you're running now?
That is not.
Electric complaint.
I mean, Nicole, any comments?
I think it's Department of Finance.
Any other comments? Or, great, I hope everybody has a great holiday season. Look forward to seeing you at the stop. And a lot going on next couple of weeks, so great, good job. We are adjourned.